Thank you guys so much for allowing me to do this. And I'm very excited. And that is all I will say about myself. Armando, your face is currently the big one on the screen. So do you want to go first?
Yeah, of course. Well, my name is Armando Julian Serrano. I born and raised in Guaynabo, Puerto Rico. So I've lived here my whole life and currently am here in San Juan. I got into this music scene or theater environment, I think in high school. I've always sang since I was a kid. I was in the San Juan Children's Choir, so music's been always a part of my life, but I never saw it as like on stage. I just took a theater class in ninth grade and then I kind of liked it. Then school musical, it was High School Musical actually, and then I just auditioned. I was Zeke the baker, and then from there on, I just fell in love with like I know performing. I just like to storytell. I just like to transmit a message, but I've never done it professionally. So after I graduated, I'm actually an industrial engineer, minor in finance. I actually work in telecom industry right now as a project manager. So it's like a 180 on this whole music, theater, and corporate job per se. But I've always liked to mesh the two of them. I think they're a mix for everything. There's no categories that you have to be an engineer, you have to be an art major, you have to be a doctor, you have to be a podcast person. You can be anything you want. You just have like specific skill sets that you keep on adding to your tool belt, and you can do basically anything you want. If you want to act, if you want to perform, you want to just tackle on a computer engineering degree and just change an algorithm for the arts. I'm all up for it. So just creative ways of finding, how to move the world forward and just meet new people. So that's a little bit background on me.
Steven, do you want to go next?
Sure. My name's Stephen Dookie. I'm born and raised in Queens, New York. I've always been into music, been singing forever. In high school, I was in the Glee Club, so like I performed on stage for the high school. Did some stuff in like the Columbus Day Parade because the lady who I was working with in the Glee Club happened to be like some former famous Italian lady. I picked up the guitar to meet my wife because I thought that she would be interested in that, and we got married like 2 months ago, so it worked. I never thought I'd have a career in music. But then I was posting on TikTok. I started TikTok because I thought it could be a fun way to make some side money for a ring for my wife. But that didn't blow up enough, so it never actually helped. So then I was just posting for fun, and that's how Jorge found me, and I got into Epic, and that's kind of how my journey started. And now I am by day a physician's assistant. Just started working. And by night, I come home and hang out and play video games with these guys.
That reminds me, Steven, I have a question that I've been dying to ask you since the last time that we spoke. How has the Pink Pony Club been treating you?
Okay, okay, look, I I didn't like Chaperone for a long time. I was like trying my hardest to resist it because I was like she got too popular too quick. I didn't want to like be into it, so I was like avoiding listening to her music. And then my wife insisted that I take the time to sit down and actually listen to it. And I became such a big fan that I was like, I need to like sing this and post this, and it has to be out there. And then I did, and then it became like a small section of TikTok, like really, really small. I mean, like 30 people who like took it and ran with it. So if you click on the sound now, there are videos of me artistically drawn as if I was like in a Pink Pony Club. And I think it's like one of my favorite things going on TikTok right now. Like someone has me in like a stripper get up,
Oh
and
my gosh.
they're singing like Pink Pony Polities, and it's like my favorite thing on TikTok right now.
That's so great.
That's it.
Holy policies, I love that.
My favorite one is the pink ponyfied Trojan horse with like the red lipstick and the little
Yep.
on it. I just think that that is amazing.
That's incredible.
I love that the fandom of Epic is like so like broad and vast that it's like I can bring up something like Pink Pony Club, and it's like a small section of the fandom just latches onto that, and like now there's like a Pink Pony Polities section of the fandom of Epic. Like that's like one of the things that is really cool.
I do quite enjoy that myself. I love the little inside jokes that the community has created. Luke, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? I'm sorry for getting sidetracked.
No, you're so good. You're so good. I'm Luke Holt. I play Zeus in Epic. And sort of how I got into music is like a wild time. So I sort of like Armando, I had sing in choirs quite a bit throughout my life, but music was always the side thing. I was always the sports guy. And so I always just played sports and excelled at that and was like, yep, this is my future. This is what I'm doing. And through a weird turn of events, I was the Troy Bolton and made the choice pursue musical theater. And so I ended up getting my bachelor's of fine arts in musical theater and my master's of fine arts in theater arts. Um, and so yeah, I've just sort of made it like my goal to eventually be a voice actor, maybe be in movies and anything, pretty much anything. I was so the story of me getting an Epic is a wild one, right? Where like I just fell backwards into the role. Like I was like, no, this isn't how it works. This isn't how it works. And then I just fell into it. So yeah.
That's a pretty good segue for my first question, because I want to ask you guys next about your audition process. So, Luke, if you want to go first, because you said you just fell back into the role, I would love to know how that happened for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so sort of how it went was really really funny. So I did not have TikTok, period. I didn't have TikTok. I was like, TikTok, it's a fad, it'll die out soon. Oh, how wrong I was. So I didn't have TikTok, but I taught voice lessons. And a lot of my students had TikTok and they're like, oh my God, this musical is so cool. You should totally audition for it. And I'm like, audition for it? How? And they're like, just be on TikTok and stitch the video and have duet the video, have you singing it. And I was like, okay, that's not how this industry works. Like this industry is a very very strict industry where you have to have auditions. They probably contact like agents and stuff like that. This industry is much different than that. Like he's probably doing this because it's a great way to get like community engagement. Like it's a really genius idea to get community engagement, but it's not going to happen. And they're like, oh, okay. And no joke, 10 to 12 people in my life, like my cousins, my voice students, just people that knew me from a while ago were like, oh my gosh, you should totally audition. And I was like, all right, fine. Like this is so wild that everyone is sending me this. Okay. And so I had like a brick phone. And so I was like, hey, I asked my wife, I was like, hey, can I use your phone? I know you have TikTok. Can I use it? And she's like, yeah, sure, I guess. And so I use her phone, record this video, send it to my phone to get a TikTok account and upload it. And so if you notice in the original video, you'll see like lightning bolts in it. It's just to cover up the watermarks of her profile. um, and so I posted it and I was like, okay, well, hopefully he sees this because there's so many people auditioning. Like there's no way he takes the time out of his day to see every single audition. Spoiler, he sees every single audition. And he was like, hey, I would love to hear from you. And then I was like, perfect, that sounds great. And then I didn't hear anything back. I was like, what happened? So then I liked his message and I was like, oh, and I forgot that I'm on my brick phone. So none of this is like going through. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I have to like send smoke signals to him. I'm like, oh, so I was like, okay, wait. So I put my email in my bio and I was like, okay, this will go through. And then I got an email and they were like, man, like we didn't know if you wanted the role or not. You just like liked our comment and didn't reply. And I was like, I was replying, I swear. And so then callbacks happened and they offered me the part and it was great.
Actually, wild. The fact that I couldn't imagine like if you had lost it then, if you hadn't been able to get them through. I don't think I could imagine another person playing Zeus. Like with all the voices you see in Epic, I don't think there's another person that could do Zeus as well as you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Steven, do you want to go next with your audition process?
Sure. I was posting on TikTok for fun, just as many videos as possible, like twice a day, 3 times a day if I felt like it. If a song got stuck in my head, I would post it on TikTok just to post it. And I was following Epic on TikTok, just like going through it, making sure like seeing what it was. It was one of like the many things I was following, like how you follow on TikTok, just because it's interesting to you. And one day, Jorge had liked one of my posts, and I called my wife and I was like, "Oh my God, you're not gonna be who liked my post." She was like, "That's awesome, but it really doesn't do anything. Like it's cool, but that's how TikTok is. People will see your post." Then like a week later, I posted again, and it was just some like happy-go-lucky song. I can't even remember what it was. Jorge comments and he goes, "Hey, this is really awesome," and he follows me back. And then he messages and he says, "Would you be interested in trying out for Epic?" And I was like, "Boy, would I! Like, I would love to be at Epic." So then the process began there, where he sent me like the music, like the song I would be trying out for. It was Open Arms, the beginning of part of Open Arms, and he sent me the backing track so I could practice, and he sent me like a copy of the lyrics, and he said, "Hey, you're gonna need to perform this in a Zoom meeting with me and the former producer. And once that's done, we'll let you know if we like you, if you have the part or not." And I was like, "Okay, sure." And there's actually a video where Jorge tells this story online somewhere. It's at the release party for the first saga. And I get into the meeting and I'm wearing like a button-down shirt and like my hands are folded and I'm waiting there for Jorge to get in. And Jorge is like in a t-shirt and the producer's in like a t-shirt. And they're like, "Hey, Steven, where are you right now?" And they kind of meant like, "Where are you in the world?" So they know where I have to travel from if I have to do anything for Epic. And I've never been in an interview, like an audition before. So I said, "I'm in my bedroom. Um, my mom's downstairs, but she promised me she'd be quiet. She works from home, so we have like an hour to ourselves." And Jorge goes, "That's nice. I meant, where are you based? What city?" "I'm in New York. Sorry about that." And then Jorge goes, "Okay, so we're gonna have you just sing the song now, okay? Play." I hit the song, and I didn't know whether Jorge wanted me to like leave the open part for him to respond, like in the call and respond of Open Arms. So the interview went like this: "You can relax, my friend." "Huh? I can tell you're getting nervous." And I did both parts the entire time. And then at the end, I even did the Wingans part. And Jorge and the producer are like dying laughing at me. And I'm like, "What's wrong? Did I mess that up?" And Jorge goes, "No, no, that was perfect. But just so you know, we're gonna have you do it again. You don't have to do both parts, just the parts that say poetry." So I went, "Oh, this is my first interview. I mean, first audition. I'm so sorry. Okay, let me start over." I start over, I get through it, and Jorge goes, "Okay, that was beautiful. Just one more thing. If you there's a couple higher notes that we're gonna need you to belt for us." And this is the part he always leaves out of the story when he tells it. But he asked me to belt like the high note in Open Arms, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not classically trained. Belting is not something I usually do. I stayed in my little vocal range right here." And he goes, "Just try it. If like if you don't do it, we can work on it. I just want to see like what your vocal range is like." And I went for it, and the sound that came out of me sounded like a baby goat. And Jorge just starts laughing, and he goes, "Okay, that was terrific. Maybe you mute yourself and try it a couple more times, and then when you think you have it ready, come back." So I mute myself, and I'm over here like, "Come back on, Jorge. It's not really working. I think it's a little bit better if you want to hear it." And then I do it again, baby goat, all over again. And Jorge goes, "Okay, we're gonna just go into a separate room, and when we come back, then we can talk about like how this went." So of course they're in a separate room for 5 minutes. They come back and I'm like panicking in that entire 5 minutes. He comes back and I'm like sweating bullets. And he's like, "Hey, so we just have one more question for you. How would you like to play Polities in Epic the Musical?" And I went, "I mean, I would love it if you gave me the opportunity. Like, I would really like to be a part of this. So just let me know what you decide." And he goes, "No, no, no. I'm asking you." And I went, "I gotta call my mom. I gotta call my girlfriend. I gotta call my grandma. I gotta call all my friends. Tell everybody thank you so much. Thank you." And he goes, "Okay, we can tell you're excited. Looking forward to working with you. Thanks for being a part of this. We'll give you all the information coming up soon." I was like, "All right, bye." And I ran downstairs and I was like, "Mom, you can start talking again. All right, I got it. We're good."
Oh my gosh. I wish I'd muted myself. I could not stop laughing for a little bit there. I'm so sorry.
I had to mute myself in case you couldn't see. I was like
Oh
crying.
my God. The thing about that makes me laugh so much is, Stephen, I don't know if you remember this, but when I interviewed you last year, I said to you, I said, "I am in my dorm, but I have told my housemates what is going on, and I've asked them to be quiet." So we will have no
Yep.
interruptions. And I just remember it took you a second, and then you were like, "You think you're funny, don't you?" And I was like, "I think I'm hilarious, actually." Oh God, that was so good. Your audition story is something that I think should be studied. Right, Armando, it is your turn for the audition process question.
Okay, so my audition process is quite different. It started in way back in 2018 before even Epic was a concept. I met Jay through some Hamilton auditions here in Puerto Rico, and then we went to callbacks in New York, and then in New York, Jay just like showed me, hey, I'm writing a musical. What do you think of this song? And it was for his first musical, My Heart Says Go. So I said, oh, I like this. I like this style. He just showed me that song. I was like, okay, perfect. And we just exchanged numbers, and that was the end of it. Then 2020 hits, and then the pandemic hits, and then I just get a random message from Jay and say, oh, hi, I hope you're well. I remember that musical I wrote. It's already being produced. I already finished it. I'm writing a new musical, and it's based on the Odyssey. Can you help me do some demos? I said, yeah, sure, I'll help you. Like, I'm not doing anything. I'm literally in my room, just taking online classes. So yeah, sure, I'll help you. Okay, can you bite this mic, this, and then I literally helped them all the way through demos for Eurylicus since 2020 till this day. So technically, I didn't have an audition process. It was just like what he met, when he met me in 2018. Maybe he had seen some videos of me in social media about some musicals I had done recently. And then he just reached out and he said, hey, can you help me do this? And I've just been in Eureka since day one.
That's fair. I think I don't know if I'm right or wrong in this, but I remember when Jorge was first like releasing them, there was you and then the person who originally played Policies, I think was female presenting. Were you guys all friends from before?
Yeah, that was we in the demos it was Tegan. Tegan voiced basically all the female voices, that Cersei, Athena. Then I don't remember the name of the person you're referring to. I had never met her, but yeah, we were just helping Jay literally with the demos. I've got some cut songs that literally will never be released. I've seen yeah. Eurylicus had a rap song, like it was like Aaron Burr type of vibe, man of the house. But right now that song turned into what's Monster and also the Suitors like choruses. So a lot of elements have been kept, obviously just rearranged throughout the whole sagas and whole songs. But it's been really interesting just seeing how he can like literally a moment up, he sends you a song, you start learning it, and then like 2 days later, like, bro, forget about that. I'll send you a new song next week. I said, oh, okay, but this song was a bop. Like I was already ready to sing it. But aside from that, yeah, it's been really, really humbling to see this whole experience like from the ground up, and literally when it was not even a concept. Like he hadn't said anything about the Odyssey yet. He was still working on his first musical. So just like how this started in less than 4 years, 5 years, it's an amazing feat. And just again, glad to be part of this journey. And glad to see again to add these voices up, because I've heard all of these songs, but it's always with Jay's voice with demos. So when he told me, "Oh, we already have Apologies," thank you. Like I want to hear that, like another voice, like to add to the character, to add levels, and just to see how this all forms together into this whole, literally this epic community and this epic project that he has started. So yeah, that's my audition or introduction to epic.
Would you say that when, and this is a general question for all of you, but would you say when you were first seeing the concepts and the demos of Epic, did you have any idea that like the Wisdom Saga would be so high ranking when it debuted, the Underworld Saga, the Thunder Saga, that they would all become like super huge global like concept albums?
I thought so, but I didn't. But I didn't think again the magnitude of it. I knew a lot of people are in this community and love the Greek mythology. So per se, I've been introduced to this slowly throughout the years, but I know people love this from since their kids or their whole life. So I knew this was gonna pick up, like just referencing like Percy Jackson or just like Greek the books and the movies and the series. So I know there's a community for it, but again, seeing it evolve into like how quickly Like it's charted. It's every Saga drops, and basically it all charts in Billboard and or iTunes or Spotify. Just to see those numbers and how many people love this project and just keep consuming it on a daily basis. So it's just, yeah, I knew the project was going to be big, but this was really unprecedented for.
Yeah, sort of like going off of that. I knew it was going to be big whenever I was hearing the demos and stuff because we got access to like the whole show pretty much right off the bat, even though it wasn't finished. And so like every now and then I'd check the demos and a song would switch or change. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool, that's new. So I knew it was going to be big. I didn't know it was going to be huge. I didn't know it was going to be monumental like this. So it was definitely a shock when like the first release is how big I thought it was going to be throughout, if that makes sense, right? Because the first release was big. It was big and it was really, really great. But once Oceane Saga came out, Oceane Saga into Circe Saga, and then Circe Saga from Underworld, like it's steadily been inclining. So like each saga that's been released has just been bigger than the next one, bigger. Like more people are there. Like the last live stream, I think the peak viewership was at 109,000 people just live streaming viewing it, and that doesn't include the other hundreds of thousands of people that were like, oh, we're not going to stay up that late, and we're going to watch it the next morning. So like it was just insane, and I guarantee you the next saga is going to do the same thing and just surpass it, and it's just going to keep going.
And the crazy thing, in my opinion, is like it's not done yet. Like there's still so much left to come out and like so much growth for this to happen. And it's like once that last piece falls and people have the opportunity to listen to the whole thing beginning to end, I think we're gonna see like a whole second surge of people like, oh my God, I can binge the entire thing in a day. Like I remember when it was just on the Notes app, I had like a 3-hour drive upstate with my wife, right? And we're just like listening to it over and over again, like every song, and it's just Jorge's voice. And like what was at that point completed, it's like Jorge's voice for everything. And we had our favorites and whatnot, but like that binge of like listening to the whole thing beginning to end, I think that's gonna get people who are like kind of into Epic or like love Epic right now to like reiterate how much they're into it and like reaffirm it, and that's when we're gonna really take off.
I wanted to ask, because all of you have talked about having because you've all been there since the Troy Saga, right? And before. So you've seen basically all the cut songs that there were. Which ones were your guys' favorites that you were like a little bit sad to lose?
So I'll let Armando take this one after I just mentioned that like me and Luke hear the cut songs, but we're hearing them long after they're cut because it was like writing a lot of music before he met us when he was working on it like back during the pandemic. And the stuff that like me and Luke got to see is like more or less like the stuff that's coming out just with Jorge's voice.
I actually got access to one song. Someone showed me my favorite one, which was I'll just call it Disco Storm. Because there was a version of Storm before that was like it's a party on this boat. So I love that version of Storm so much.
The one that I liked that I've seen that's been cut was the version of the first song in the musical when it was like 99% rap. And it was just Jorge like rapping over it as like Odysseus narrating the fight. That one was like peak, like this kind of sounds like Hamilton, but it's kind of wholly different. It's a whole vibe and a bop.
Yeah, that full speed ahead one is great. My favorite cut song, I'm a little bit biased because it's actually Your Light. I think people know what I'm talking about, bro. Those harmonies, wow, I miss those harmonies like to this day. And also there was a Calypso song that was called Belong to You, bro. Wow. Like I think Jorge has a video in his TikTok about it. I'll later send you guys a link, but that song is like just a chill vibe. Like I would literally just watch the sunset and go with that song like forever. Like it was the equivalent to Love in Paradise, but obviously I love this one more. But that song I was kind of a bit sad that was kind of cut. But so those Your Light and Belong to You have to be like those are my two contenders again. And then the other iterations of the changes like Storm changed a bit, Full Speed Ahead. It was like more Athena rap vibe. Also, Luck Runs Out changed a lot. I think the Hermes song. What do you remember?
Oh my gosh. There was a part that you sang, Armando, that sounded just like a part from another song.
Yeah, that's yeah, exactly. It's because right now it's the part that you could be caught off guard and lose your life. That
Yes,
part
that.
we had to change it. Jay had to change it because it sounded a lot more like another song. Because before it was you could be caught off guard and end up losing your life. Or so literally even that
Shut
change.
up and dance.
Exactly that song. Yeah. But literally that changed happened, I think,
While we
five
were
hours before
recording.
while we were recording 5 hours before I had to get on a plane. Like we had recorded the whole musical, and we literally there were two final things. That song because that part of the song because I had to record that so we can do the war screams for the horse and the infant because we knew we were gonna lose our voices, so we couldn't sing after that. So it was like, bro, like we need to record this. Like, what's it gonna be? Oh, give me a break. And then like seeing it like in less than 2 hours, like he got it. It was like, oh, give me a break. Give me a break. Okay, sing this. Can you sing this? Perfect. And
It
that's
was
Luck Runs
nice.
Out.
The magic of Jorge's mind is just unbelievable.
Yes.
For all of you, but Armando specifically, I think that you would have a good answer for this one. And also, I kind of want to ask Luke because there's a part that I'm curious about, but I wanted to know if you guys have any input into how you deliver your lines or how your parts sound. So with Armando, like I put mutiny, for example, the whole back and forth and stuff. I wondered if you had any input in that. And Luke, I wanted to know if you had any input in what beast mode sounded like, or if that was something that Jorge directed for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. So the good thing, the what I like about Jorge, and this is just for me generally, I don't like recording. Like I've never liked the recording process. I always find it stressful. Like I always think my voice has to be like on the spot. I have to like be drinking water for these past few days. So with Jorge, it's really easy, and it's just like a back and forth. Like, okay, do you like how do you feel? Do you like this sound? I like this sound. Like, and he just tells you why he likes it. Oh, you sound like this because sometimes you get into your head. Maybe it sounds airy. Maybe it sounds a bit weak, or maybe it's just precisely what you need. I'm really like glad that Jorge has that back and forth with us, and at least with Mutiny, we did that because I did Mutiny just because I thought it was just like more serious note. I said no, like I need you like to be desperate. You want me to be desperate? I'll be desperate. Okay. And then literally, I think Mutiny I only did like 3 takes, and that was it. That's what was released. Like he got like from all those 3 takes what he wanted, and it was just adding up to it. Okay, now I need you to do this. Now I need you to do that, and it involves you in the process and makes you feel comfortable with what the end product will be because we're not mixing and mastering there with him. So we always leave that up to him and say, okay, hopefully it sounds good. But he always lets you leave with the comfort that yeah, it sounds good. Like I wouldn't be putting this out there if it doesn't sound good.
And yeah, for me, it was actually really funny. So me and Armando went and recorded together, for one thing. And while we were recording, we were having a really hard time connecting to like Zeus not being angry because again, we did all the re-recording and stuff. So we recorded everything in that one like long weekend sort of thing. And it was really interesting because he was just like, okay, how about try and just use your regular voice? And so I sang all of Zeus in my regular voice. And I was like, okay, this is fine, like this is fine. And he goes, no, it sounds good. It sounds good. It's like, okay, well, I mean, I would really like to like make it bigger, make it stronger. He goes, oh no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And then we went into the beast mode Zeus, and I was like, can I try something for this? He's like, dude, yeah, I mean, we're literally in my room, like you're in a sound booth, like do whatever you want to do. And I was like, perfect, perfect, okay. And I just like did that. It's because I was like releasing all of the pent up like I want to be Zeus. And so I was like, boo. And so I like let it all out, and he's like, yeah, let's do more of that. How many more of those do you have in you? And I was like, yeah, let's just tear this one up. So we did that, and then we it was the end of the recording, and they I think they released what it was Oceane Saga after we went Armando or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And then they released Cersei. And then right after they released Cersei, I get a text message from Jorge that says, I think you might have been right. And I said, what do you, what? I was so disconnected. And he sent me the version of Thunderbringer of just me being like, pride is a damsel in distress, hiding away where only I can undress her. And it's just me singing like no effect in my voice at all. And he was like, I feel like it's missing the thing that you said, like the godly gravitas that you bring. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. And he was like, all right, you're coming back out here. So I came back out there, redid Thunderbringer and all of pretty much all of them in a gravitas. And he's like, can you do the beast mode thing again, but with gravitas this time? And I was like, yeah, I can. And so I started going, and he's like, okay, like it's still missing something. And I was like, can you explain to me like what you visualize when this is happening? Because that would really help me like paint the picture with my voice. And he's like, I'm visualizing like spirit bomb, Super Saiyan, just absolute destruction. I said, Super Saiyan, say less. Okay, we're gone. And so I was like, let me mix the gravitas, let me mix the rage, and then add Dragon Ball Z Spirit Bomb in on top of it. And we just created Beast Mode Zeus.
And what a thing you have created. What a beautiful piece of art. What a piece of art that has created. That's interesting to know that it wasn't just like a thing set in stone, because again, the same way I said I couldn't imagine anyone else playing Zeus, I couldn't imagine it being sang any other way, because like God King, you have gravitas. That also makes me want to ask, and all three of you can answer this one, yeah. Did you guys ever like impress yourselves with the vocals that you brought to the table? Were you ever listening to like the final thing going, oh my God, that's me. I did that.
I still do that with God games. I still go, oh my God.
A lot. Like that God games, I can still listen back to it and be like, oh my God, that's Luke. I know him. Like
So wild.
like stuff like that. For me, in terms of impressing myself, in the second chorus of Open Arms, Jorge had told me he wanted me to belt, and that's the same belt that had messed up in that like audition. And the week before I went to record it, well, the re-record, the second record, I'm like pacing around the house, like trying to get this down. I like called Luke. I was like, Luke, I can't hit this note. Like this is awful. Like this is bad. Like I can't belt this. And Luke is like the pencil trick. Hold the pencil out and throw it out there. And I'm like, okay, that sounds good. And then my wife is like helping me like try to get it down there. And I went down there fully expecting to tell Jorge, like, Jorge, I can't hit that note. We're gonna have to find some way to get it alternative. I get in there and it's like Jorge's bedroom. And I'm like, oh wait, I can scream in here. I can really like push this out there. And like every time I hear that in the song, like I'm like, I really hit that note that day. Like I did that shit. Like, you know, like I still to this day, I still like can't like every single time I want to hit it, I have to like prepare for it. Like, you know, like I warm up for it. So the fact that I was able to do it that day is like really impressive to me that I'm able to do that. But that's just that's just my opinion. It's not like professionally trained people get that note in their sleep.
For me, I think Luke was a part of this, and I think a whole other part of the cast too. It was Puppeteer. I am in awe that song really like I finally got the ability to do it, because lyrically it is the worst song to sing, at least for me, because just trying to record a variety of flows from a wide range of places at the speed that the song is, bro. I literally I recorded that song 3 times, like before the original, the re-records, and then he had to take some time because I was here in Puerto Rico. He had to take some studio time so I can re-record that, because it still wasn't like perfected. But honestly, now I hear it and it's like, Thank you. I literally had to pat myself on the chest because
Armando,
yeah.
enough sheep here.
Oh, enough. It sounds so simple, but enough sheep here is harder than I thought. Honestly, there are enough sheep here because I always said enough sheep or something like that. I always messed it up, and it always stuck it. I'll say it right this time. Enough sheep, not stop. Enough sheep. It was horrible. So those 2 times, every time I hear those songs, like perfect, I did it. I finally did it because singing like belting the other songs like Mutiny, Luck Runs Out, those parts like okay because I've sang before and it's just maybe a little bit direction from Jorge, but lyrically because I'm thinking something in Spanish too, something in English, and then I just like cross them. So it's like if I've told this to the cast, like if you guys would meet me in my Spanish personality, I would be wow, like 20 times more fun. And I'm already like I always try to like transfer my personality
I
through.
can't
But if you
imagine. I
guys,
can't imagine you being any more fun.
Because this Armando
yeah,
is crazy. This one's a good time to be around.
just imagine like 20% more. Ooh.
I can appreciate that, but with my French, when it comes to my French, I think I get 20% more angry. I think that is what is instilled to me as an Acadian, is I just get mad when I start speaking French. Coming off of like how you guys impressed yourself, how you guys surprised yourself, would you say that you're overall proud of your role? Are you confident in what you put out? Is there anything that you wish that you could have re-recorded before it hit streaming sites?
No. I think the recording process is good enough that like we have enough takes until like we feel confident in it raw. Like before it even comes out, Armando mentioned this earlier, like Jorge does a good job of making sure that you're confident in what you're leaving, like before it even like gets touched. Like he'll play back the raw version and he does his little like, oh, I'll take this from this and this from this in the like while you're recording, he's already making stuff like this is the good part of this and this is the good part of this. We'll just mix those together. And by the time you leave the recording studio with Jorge, like you're like, oh, that one's gonna be good. Like that, like the take that I just left in there, like what he has to work on and mix and master. If he put it out tomorrow, like I'm pretty sure it would still be all right. Like I'd feel good about it. Then the mastering process comes in, and you hear your voice like enhanced a little bit by like from what it was when you left, and you're like, wow, like I knew it was good before I left. Now it's like a whole different, like it's like a whole much more amazing piece. Like Jorge did his work on it. So like there's nothing really I say like I would go back and change if I had to re-record it.
I second that. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's good. What was the most rewarding part of doing this for you? Is it the amount of streams, the attention you get from fans? Have you guys gotten any connections out of this? And so, like Luke, your voice actor, Sir Night Eye is now in your corner. Is there anything else out of that that's been like really rewarding for you guys from this experience?
I'm gonna let one of you guys go first because I just took the last question.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, truthfully, I know this sounds maybe I guess like a cop-out answer, but it's really true. The community that Epic is built is literally like all I could ask for, right? If I get voice acting stuff, if I get a lot of opportunities from that's awesome, right? I'm super excited. But I really do like just the support of like everyone on TikTok and everyone on the Discord. There's just so many people that genuinely love this product, this performance, this thing that we've created, that it really is just super rewarding to be a part of that. So
yeah, and adding to the community also, and is more like how we met each other, the cast per se, because we don't know each other, we don't know the whole cast. Like Jorge has reached out individually to some people. I met Luke and Steven, in Mexico, and then we've only seen each other like 5 times in person. Tegan, I've only seen 2 times. I've only seen Troy 1 time. So it's like amazing how in these like 2 years, like virtually, like when literally the whole world like was in its standstill, and our only method of communication was our TikTok or FaceTime or just like messaging. Is like how we like bonded together, like people in LA, in New York, in Puerto Rico, in London, in Kenya, and like literally in all parts of the world, and just like to make like form a part of this project and just work together because we did demos in our houses, and maybe auditions in our parents' homes. Then when we went to Jorge, like all of this happened, but literally it's just how we all got together. Like, yeah, I'll just join the project, and just seeing how the community just gets built, being built just day by day with all people and art. I love the animations. We've seen like I have a favorite animator that's the one that draws us like Pokemon trainers. I love that. And that's so freaking cute. Like, yeah, asks us which is our favorite Pokemon, and just like seeing like how the community engages with us. It's really fulfilling. So just getting to know all these new people, also getting to know all of these cast members, all of these like great artists that are just maybe lying in their bedroom and they have the most amazing skills, and this community has been able like just giving them the courage, just giving them the platform to, you know what, I just want to do this. And I think I heard in Discord like some people have already monetizing, like that been inspired to like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put my art out there, and like in 1-2 months they're already monetizing and just say, oh, I'm not going back to my old job. I'm just gonna stay this. Thank you for the community to like push me through. So it's like really beautiful to see those like all these interactions happening at the same time. So it's
So
we still have more to go. So it's like really fulfilling, honestly.
For me, again, the community, just to like reiterate, like I love being a part of the Epic community. Open Arms is like just one song, and it's like the Polity song. But like on Discord, there's like a specific chat called the Open Arms chat, which is like just seeing people from the Discord, and they're like talking about like, oh, like this person helped me today, or I did something good today, or like, make sure you guys are drinking enough water. And like my only goal in life was to like put something positive into the world. Like, you know, like in the human experience, like the goal is to like leave the world better than you made and you brought it in. And because of Epic, like I feel like I've already like kind of helped contribute in that way. So like that's one thing that like if Epic was to shut down tomorrow, like I feel happy that I was a part of this because of that. And also the Mexico crew, when we were recording the Troy Saga, it was like I flew out to Mexico City to like stay in a B&B with five people. It was 6 of us, right? So
six of us.
So,
Yeah.
so I was hanging out with 5 people who I'd never seen in person before. And they were like, oh, by the way, you're going to come down and you're going to sleep in an Airbnb with these people. And I'm like, fingers crossed, none of them are serial killers. And and somewhere between recording and Dino Nuggies at 2 a.m. and taquitos, um, I found like people who like I couldn't imagine getting married without having there. When I was doing like my people who I was inviting to the wedding, it was family and then friends, and I'm like, do I want like these extended third party family or like the Epic crew? And like I made sure I got them there because like that was really important to me. So like having them there made that awesome, and I think that like, that's one of the best things I've gotten out of Epic, like meeting these people.
And we also got to see the behind the scenes of Steven's proposal, because I think it was like months prior. You were like
Months in
almost
advance, I was planning it. And
yeah.
you
So
guys were there for all of that stuff. What a dream. Get to meet people.
yes.
Like, there's no way I meet Armando or Luke, as a matter of fact, at all in my life. Like our paths never cross if it wasn't for Epic.
Exactly.
Wild to think about that.
And like now, every time anybody comes to New York City, I'm like, let's hang out. I'll make the time. Like we're grabbing lunch. So
All right, so building off of the last one, you guys obviously answered that the most rewarding part is the community. So do you guys want to talk a little bit about like what your favorite part of interacting with the community is? What are some of your favorite animatics that you've seen? Have you seen any like really good memes that you just think like need to be shouted out right now?
The biggest meme is is the dancing Zeus meme with like the Hispanic themed Thunderbringer, I think, in the background.
The Brazilian one, right?
So wild. It's so wild, and I love it so much.
That one caught me off guard. I was scrolling through TikTok and somebody was like, just wait for the chorus to hit. And that was like the little caption on the bottom of TikTok. And I was like, okay, I guess so. And it starts off like it's like just Zeus, like, you know, power stance, power pose. Chorus hits of Thunderbringer, and it's like Zeus doing like traditional Brazilian street dancing. I love that one.
So wild.
We talked about it earlier. The pink pony polity stuff cracks me up. Absolutely cracks me up. The animatic for God games is honestly one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. Like I'm drawing a blank on the name of the artist at the moment, but
There's lots of them. There's lots of them.
yeah, but like get into animation as soon as possible. Like the world needs that more of your artwork.
Honestly, for me, my favorite animation has to be I don't know, I'm not remembering. I think it's Murchie's, Gigi's, and I'm not remember the last artist from Love in Paradise. That whole I like the time dive, the like all like literally the facial expressions of the soldiers of Odysseus, of Athena. I love that whole like song as an animation. Like those three animators like should definitely work together on a daily basis.
The one part where Calypso's face just drops, who's Penelope? And it goes from like a pure perfectly animated face to just like two dots in a line. Oh my God, how beautiful was that?
And then the one frame of the like sobbing face.
Yeah,
Man, I love it.
no, I've also loved it to see just interacting with the community, seeing the whole YouTube videos of people like fighting about Epic. Like literally, that is my daily routine. Like every time I go to the gym on the treadmill, I'm like 40 minutes in. I will daily look for a video. Okay, who's reacting to Epic today? That's how I got to like Mortius and then Casper, and to see like all these creators like, oh, someone told me to react to Epic. I'm just doing this. Oh, somebody told me about Epic, and just literally just seeing them like laugh, cry, like taking this emotional journey like Jorge takes all of us through is like really, really, really fun. But I love it because it's just like it in its rawest form. Like, I don't know what this is. Somebody told me to react to this song. I'm just here for it. And then from there, people are mesmerized, love, they're engaged. So I love seeing like how people find out about Epic and just like just listening to these songs. Like, oh, what is your real reaction? What do you think of this? So most people don't know much about musicals. Most people don't like musicals, so that's a good thing. Like there's the Epic is for everybody. Like maybe not for the musical junkie person that loves that it's their passion. To someone like parents, like even like literally my mom listens to Epic daily, like even more than me. Like this is I love this song. Like the nice guy, like the guy from New York. Like she yesterday she was listening to Open Arms because wow. I hear Open Arms in this new song, right? Like that's his spirit. Yeah, you're catching on.
I'm honored. Oh, okay. I am so honored. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Or like one of my favorite community engagements that we've had, and it's funny that all three of us are here. The Op Talk. Where, like,
oh God.
I guess the community didn't know that we kind of like actively like look for Epic stuff online. Like we're as much of a part of the community as everybody else is. So we were just constantly seeing things. And like this trend came up on TikTok where like we would just randomly comment on like everything Epic we could possibly find. And they were like, oh my God, the ops are here. Everybody like they see everything we post, like we're in danger. And I just think like that stuff was so funny. Like that's wild. My favorite engagements we've had in recent memory.
Yeah. I don't know if it was on purpose, but I love that technically the ops are here.
Yep.
Yes, this is the whole ops squad.
I did not think about that, but that is true because I think that's how you and I ended up connecting, Steven. It was that you had commented on one of my TikToks. And then I was just kind of like, well, opportunity seized. So that is funny. And that worked out well. So clearly, like your involvement in the community pushes it so much more too. So it's interesting to see. It's nice that the cast is so involved with the community and that there's not really a disconnect there. I think that that's something that you don't see a lot in most forms of media. It's not something that's very common.
I think it's because
I just remembered the walking pad trend. Have you seen walking pad trend?
The walking pad trend. The Telemachus ones? Love it. Love it.
You haven't seen them, Luke? Literally,
no.
It's a girl that has a walking pad and like she tells you like at which speed do you need like to strut each song of Epic.
Yes.
So like literally there's songs like it's 2.3, the underworld is like 2.2, wouldn't you like is like 3.1, something like that. Like
That's so cool.
so
And
literally,
like
and she does videos like strutting like like through the
That's
songs
so
like
cool though. That's so cool.
like it's
oh,
like I bought a track a walking pad for this, and it's like nah bro, I literally bought it for just strutting like wouldn't you like and puppeteer and all those songs. I love it.
That's incredible.
and now she
I was,
published like a guide to the walking pad struts of Epic, where it's like every song she puts a speed for you to set it on a treadmill.
That's
and
great.
also there's a playlist so for a workout. So like when you're beginning, like from beginning to end of a workout. So like literally, I'll put these songs in these orders so you get a full on workout when it's on a treadmill.
Nuts.
So we hijacked your interview for a minute.
No, that's okay.
Yeah,
That's
sorry.
the point. That's the point. That is what you're supposed to do. Please continue. But I do know what you're talking about, Armando. I have that saved. That is in my saved on TikTok. That and a bunch of those same things, but for different K-pop albums. I love those videos so much. They are so useful. What are your guys' favorite songs that you are looking forward to in the, I mean, we don't have much left of Epic to be released. So with the, yeah, which ones are, what song are you guys like looking forward to the most, do you think?
Um,
I can't share
without
the
giving
name.
without giving spoilers, I'm trying my best to like what's something that's not a spoiler. I can tell you that Jorge had a song in the last saga that I really really liked, and then he was like, "Nope, it's just not hitting the way I want it to hit. I'm changing it," and scrap the whole song.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. That was a good one
And
too.
now I'm like, every time Jorge scraps something, the thing that comes out of those scraps is always like just this much better. So now that's probably the song I'm looking forward to most. Like,
Really? Okay.
yeah, that's my answer without giving anything because I love that song. Like the original song was like just heartstrings.
I think my favorite one is the one that there's been a snippet released of already, and it's the violent song is all I'll say.
The violence.
No, I got what you mean. I got that
Yeah,
immediately.
yeah.
That was way too quick. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's released some of it, so like you know that yeah, but the violent song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm seeing it. No, I mean, I'm sorry. Bro, I need this song like 2 years ago.
Like up injected IV, just put it in there. I need it.
I need that song like 2 years ago. So like that is the most like the song I'm most like looking forward to. Like I'm already
Need it.
love it. It is my love story.
It's carved onto your soul. It's in you. That is me with most of those musicals, so I understand that completely. What do you guys think would be the best medium for Epic to be? What would you be most excited to see Epic as when it's completed? Do you think it's best for stage? Do you think it's best for animation? Do you think it's best for a video game style, which it takes so much inspiration from?
I personally, so as you can tell by my blanket in the back, I think animation would just absolutely crush it. Just the sheer scale of everything that's happened thus far in the musical, let alone what's about to happen in the musical, like it has to be, right? It has to be just so that you can capture the scale and the just everything that's happening, you know? So it's just, yeah, so I would say animation would be the one that I would like to see it. Passing the baton.
No, I mean, yeah, sort of animation or any visual like any visual like movie, series, or like exactly to Luke's point to capture the magnitude of all of these like a 50-foot cyclops or the gods like or maybe there's the god games like to see these different levels. I just feel like I see that. I would love to see. I think I don't know if it's Archie's animatic of Polyphemus and Survive, the red one, the one with the
Oh,
horns.
the weird like demon one.
Yeah, that one. Like, there's a scene like that Odysseus does like a rapid spin blade, like something Attack on Titan style. Like, bro, like I'm up for it. And also in God games, like when Athena fights with Ares, and also like those types of scenes, like I would love to see in an animation. So if the whole show would be animated, like that's chef's kiss. But I also would love to see it in a stage production. So maybe more like Jorge has mentioned, like Cirque du Soleil, like sort of production wise, like something big. I would love to see like a huge like ship. I think that's in Vegas. There's a show like the huge ship just to see that bow like storm wise. Love to see like the sphere, like the sphere in Vegas. Can you imagine like storm inside of there? Like
Nuts.
The Cyclops thing, like seeing it live, I just always think back to like when King Kong was on Broadway and they had that giant animatic for King Kong. I think like something like that would be cool. Another thing I think would be awesome if we could ever get there, if like Epic could be done in like a virtual reality setting, or like you could like almost like put yourself into the animatic and like
Be one of the soldiers.
I think like that would be like such a cool vibe to like have if we could animate it from like different perspectives in a virtual reality setting.
3D animate it, you mean? Like fully 3D animate
Like,
it and
fully
have
3D
like it be a
animated.
walkthrough experience?
Yeah.
Yo.
I think that would capture the magnitude of this in a way that would be like
Terrifying? Yeah.
yes. Terrifying.
Yeah.
Heart attack inducing?
Like
Yeah, honestly, like people would rip off those VR glasses so fast.
like if we could have it be like a third person VR, like if I was like sitting in a like an auditorium that was large enough to have this, like I could virtual reality see what it would look like on stage if there was a stage large enough to host something like this. Or like if it was like first person VR, that would be absolutely sick. Like could you imagine playing this out like through like the lens of like Odysseus? Like I think something like that would be like absolute like horror and romance and the decisions he has to make, and like Jorge's one of those people where like there's tidbits in Epic where I don't notice it, but a fan brings it up and I'm like, whoa, how did I not know that? And then I mentioned to Jorge and he goes, hee hee, I'm glad you noticed. Like finally, like I put it there for you to notice. And I think like if you were like animation VR, like that kind of style, like those tidbits could be now like not just auditory, but like a visual tidbit that like he could hide in there. Kind of like if you ever like read Watchmen, like in Watchmen, there's so many little tidbits in the background of the comics that like my high school teacher loved it. So he made us go through it and like we had to find 10 bits in every chapter. And like visual tidbits are like more in like for me at least, it's like playing a puzzle. I'm like, where is it? I know it's here somewhere.
I
So
would
like
love an Alpine or POV.
Elpenor, baby. Elpenor.
I would love it.
that would be awesome.
You mentioned playing as one of the soldiers. I would be Alpino, or I would be just dead somewhere. Nobody would notice that I was missing. I would just fall off the face of the earth and be gone because there's no way that I would survive anything that is in this story. Like just
You didn't
absolutely
even
not.
make it to being turned into a pig. You didn't even make it that far.
I don't think I would.
That would solve a question a lot of fans have said about pigs, because I've seen a lot of people asking like if these pigs were like sentient, that they were human, or they were like, or were they like transformed like into an animal mindset. So it's like when Cersei turns you back into a pig, like to see that POV, like, oh, I'm turning into a pig, but maybe it's just the soldier, just like the soldier's mind, but hey, I'm a pig. Like I'm to see like the nymphs playing around with him and like, oh, don't grab me, help me.
Like the minute they get turned into a pig, like, oh, is that mud?
Nuts.
That reminds me, we were talking about memes earlier. One of my favorite ones is for Puppeteer, and it's just a comment that somebody had made once, that the reason Odysseus says damn during Puppeteer is because he was really impressed by how well Eurylochus could do Cersei's voice.
That's funny.
Come inside. Damn. Just like I didn't do that.
Damn, Eurylochus, you sound really like a girl right now.
And that just, I think I read that once and I just started laughing, and my boyfriend was like, what is funny? And I was like, I could never explain this to you and have you understand why this is so funny.
Unless you get him in Epic.
What did she
I've
say?
been trying. I've been
Damn.
I I didn't know you could do that. Like,
That's so funny.
I don't
Oh,
even remember what video it was. I don't remember anything of it. I just remember reading it and it stuck in my brain. It's just one of my favorite things that was ever said.
That is pure comedy.
Do you guys want to talk a little bit about any goals or any future plans that you guys have coming up in terms of musicals and other works? Again, voice actor on the scene.
I'll let the voice actor speak too.
Yeah, I'll let him talk about his other works.
Oh, I mean, sure, yeah. I mean, I've got a lot of fun stuff sort of in the works. There's a possibility for me to voice somebody in an upcoming Akatar thing, which would be really cool.
I didn't
I
know
don't have
that.
I don't have any details or anything yet, but it could be on its way. Um, I stream video games and stuff like that on my Twitch channel, Luke Holt Official. That's growing. Join the community if you'd like. What else? There's possibilities for some horror film stuff that I'm gonna be a part of, which would be really cool. Yeah, so I mean, lots of different opportunities that are like right on the cusp of being like real things. So yeah. Oh, and then I will more than likely, knock on wood, we'll see how it goes, but I will more than likely be going to different Comic Cons and things like that, hanging out with Apollo, Brandon, and saying hi to some peeps.
That would be so sick.
Yeah.
Outside of Epic, musically, not really that many goals and plans and stuff. Just really focusing on like my career, like medicine career, because that's like just starting to actually be a real thing. I've been in school for like 7 years now for like undergrad and then physician's assistant, like my master's degree. Now I'm finally getting out there, and it's like really, really terrifying having to treat patients and stuff. So like that's my goal for the next couple of years. Like, and in terms of expectations and like goals, just wherever Epic takes us, like whatever Epic does, like good on Epic, because this starting as like Jorge Rich writing something and like me into like auditioning in my bedroom, it's like I wasn't expecting any of this to be like as big as it is. So like the goals have already been like way surpassed. And that's about it.
Yeah, I can literally add to Stevens because for me, I've said it, I am okay being a one-hit wonder. Like I see things as like a bucket list. Like I a few years back, I would have done anything music wise. I literally would have stayed just in my career, just working as I am now. But having this on the side as a hobby and just being able to do it mostly remote work, just like interacting with people, it's made it easy. So yeah, wherever Epic takes us, honestly, I just say I can say I have a song on Spotify. Like literally, I'm just happy with that. Like literally, it's just like cool. Like my name's there. Like no, like it's just like an achievement that I would have never done if I would have not been a part of Epic. Because for me, like I've always appreciated the arts. I would have always supported it, but I knew like I wanted to focus on my career, and it's somehow, some way, both of those, like my passion and my career, like merged, and I could apply what I do with the arts. Yeah, by all means. But honestly, I'm already happy where I am, and so whatever the world and whatever life says. But I'm super grateful. So bucket list achieved.
One of the cool things about Spotify is you can see like what country people are listening to you in. And my family's from Trinidad and Tobago. And I remember I looked into it like I think like 3 months ago or something, and I had 3 listeners in Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm like, yeah. So like
That's so cool.
Is there anything else you guys want to shout out or promote? So like TikToks, Twitch, YouTube channels, anything else?
Luke Holt Official on Twitch. That's where you can find me whenever Luke is streaming.
Yeah, you can always
we play
always
together a
find
lot.
me commenting on literally on any part of TikTok. I don't know why they say Zeus is the main op because I've had the most oppish behavior for the past week.
Bro, it's
It
so
really
wild
is
that
the
I'm an
main
op
one.
because I stay being like, hey, let's be friends. And they're like, no, no, op. And I'm like, what's happening?
Meanwhile, Armando's like, just a random post, just eyes. I see you.
Yeah, literally, I've seen like for any new video that pops in my For You page that I know it's Epic related, I just see like who has commented, and it's like, okay, so nobody that I know from the Brotherhood has been here.
Got
I
it.
just leave an Easter egg, and they will find it. They will find it, and then they just pull that person in. Hey, Epic community, come to the Brotherhood. And that's what's fun about it. It's that at the end of the day, it's just a war to stream like each other's music to support each
Mhm.
other. Like, oh, we need to go to this sound so to make more memes for Tegan's music, for JP's, for
Yeah.
Luke's channel, for Pink Pony Polities. Oh, if Pink Pony Polities talks to me, okay, fine. We can do some business, but it's Polities. But then Steven, obviously, come on, let's greet the world with open arms, and then just throw it back in.
Just right back to no, not Politics. He's the op. But Steven, we love Steven. But Politics.
Bro, have you sent like I've been sent like I was talking to Maddo, like the captain, and she had sent me the whole list of Eurylicus nicknames. And
Fuck
some of
wild.
these, bro, and some of these are like I really like Eurythmics, Eurolobster. You really thought you ate? I mean, that's that's the best one out of all. You really lack Riz. I like that.
Aw. I
Yeah,
believe you got Riz.
yeah, you're really lacking, and you're legally bound.
I know Polities has like Poly Sneeze and political science. Those ones are top-notch stuff. Just
Political scientist.
love it.
It's Luke has Luke has rights, Zeus has none, or something like that.
Mr. Zap Zap has no right.
Yeah.
I love it.
Just goes back to like the community is like so engaging and they're like it's not like one of those things where like the community supports us with like streams and like just like listening to it or like streaming it, like be joining in the live thing. Like they're actively like making videos and like talking to one another and like trying to spread Epic. And I think like that's one of like the coolest things. And like if I'm like paying attention to a certain like person on TikTok who like I know is making epic content, when they stop making epic content, I notice. I'm like, it hasn't come up in a long time. Like there's this one girl named Fatima. She's like Fatima Reacts on TikTok. I was following her reactions for like every song for the first like 3 or 4 sagas. And I think something happened with like her like outside of Epic or like outside of her like TikTok, and she stopped making videos. And like at the time, like I took like a second, I was like, I haven't seen one of your posts in a minute. Like, are you good? She was like, yeah, just dealing with some stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. Once she starts posting it, I'm gonna go right back to watching all of her reactions because like I love that stuff. Like I like when people use their platform to help support things that they support, and like reaction videos are always so much fun to watch.